So I hit some corners here. Really picks up above 6,000 RPM. Hi, and welcome to this episode of John's Motorcycle Rescue and Review. Today I am with Suzuki's 1982 GS750E. Man, this was the first, this is kind of the predecessor of the GSXRs and kind of the sport. They kind of evolved into the sport series of motorcycles. And then now they're kind of the great-grandfather of the Suzuki GSXS 750. And that's really, the GSXS is more true to this original formula in that this is a UJM. Suzuki's GS750E really set the motorcycling world on fire when it debuted in the mid to late 1970s. It was the first big four-cylinder motorcycle that actually handled well. Honda had been producing the CB750 for a long time at that point, but the Suzuki it handled so much better, it has so much better brakes, and it really was one of the first true all-around performance standards. And this 1982 Suzuki GS750E is the next generation. What they did, they've really upgraded a lot of features on this bike over the original. So it's got new bodywork. It has a 16-valve head on it instead of the old 8-valve head. It has anti-dive suspension. It still has the dual disc brakes up front and the single disc in the back. It is really a solid performing 750cc sport standard motorcycle from the early 80s. I bought this one originally several months ago and it ran okay. I've been working on it and really going through it from front to back and making sure all the systems are up to spec and up to date. And I've got it probably about 95% sorted at this point, and I thought I would do a review on it. I'm also going to release a series of videos where I'm going through the process of taking this bike from the day that I bought it and bringing it up to my standards, of kind of rescuing it from, you know, it was I don't know, it was rougher than what I typically even deal with. I have been working on it. There's still some progress to be made on it as far as just, you know, finalizing some of the cosmetics and getting everything just dialed in 100% to my liking. In the process of getting this bike up to my standards, I have put the Spiegler steel braided brake lines on it. I've put the Emgo Magna wide handlebar on it. I've upgraded the braking system, and I've gone through the clutch system, and just really have worked through the bike. And in 1982, the Suzuki GS750E was the top 750 sport standard. There were other ones out there, but this was the fastest, smoothest, best riding, best braking, best handling sport standard that you could buy. So how does it ride? How does the best sports standard of 1982 stack up in today's world? Is it still relevant, or is it just an old has-been? So let me gear up. I'll bring the camera along. Let's find out together. Let's ride. I am currently riding Suzuki's 1982 GS750E, and the first thing I'm noticing right now is how comfortable this bike is. Everything is nicely laid out. The seat is probably one of the most comfortable seats that I've ridden on, and I have had it recovered you know, but the Suzukis of this time period are known for having just incredibly comfortable seats. So this one's just all day comfortable. It's got a little bit of a lean to the bars, which I like, and it keeps me kind of angled into the wind, so I can do 55, 60 all day long and not get fatigued. Another thing I'm noticing right off the bat is how smooth this bike is. It's got a very, very smooth power plant. I'm getting no vibration through the foot pegs at all, and very minimal vibration through the bars. So that's just really nice. Another thing I'm noticing right off the bat is the instrumentation on this bike is just super complete. It's better than most of the much more modern bikes that I've owned and ridden. It's got everything from a fuel gauge to a gear indicator. It's got a side stand light that tells you if the side stand is down. It's also got an oil temperature gauge from factory, and of course the big tach and the speedometer. It's a 750 motor, so it has, when you spin it up, it really picks up nicely, but it's very forgiving and linear on the throttle at lower revs. So you can give it a lot of throttle and it's not gonna like wheelie out from under you or something like that at lower revs, but it does pull very nicely, and it's just very predictable on the throttle. The ride on this bike is also, I would call it plush. It's almost magic carpet plush. And so I'm a little bit torn. I think I could get it to have a little bit better control under braking, but I would lose some of that plush ride. And that ride actually makes this bike just super nice all day. So I'll hit some corners here. Really picks up above 6,000 RPM. Yeah, very nice, very smooth power delivery. It's rewarding to rev it up past that 6,000 RPM because it really does pick up above that. It's got a nice kind of a jet engine sound to the exhaust. It's interesting, even with the anti-dive setup on the front suspension, when I get on the brakes it does dive a bit, but this has triple rate springs in it, and so even though it's kind of soft at the first part of the travel and it dives a little bit, the spring rates get progressively firmer, and so it does, even though it dives a bit, it does maintain control fairly well under braking. The rear brake is actually a big disc brake as well, and it offers some actually pretty significant stopping power. With the way that this bike is set up, it has a little bit more weight on the rear tire than, let's say, a modern Super Sport or even the modern sport standards. It's not as prone to like lifting the back wheel under braking. If I were to compare the braking to modern brakes, it's probably a little bit wooden, and it definitely takes more pressure at the brake lever, front brake lever, to generate, you know, significant stopping power. But it's something that, you know, within a minute or two of driving the bike, you kind of get used to it. I'm 6'4", and the cockpit layout on this bike is honestly very, very roomy. I've got a ZRX 1200 that feels a lot smaller than this does, seating position wise. It's got a tighter cockpit than this does. But being a tall guy, this fits me really well. If you were shorter, this would probably be a little bit much on the reach to the bars. But for me, it's nice. It's mildly sporting and very comfortable. And this bike is a lot of fun on these tight Pennsylvania back roads. Again, the power plant really throughout the rev range is very, very, very smooth. And even though this bike is an 82, it does have preload adjustment in the rear as well as damping adjustment on the rear shocks. And it also has air assist on the front shock, so you can kind of set the I don't know if so much the damping, but a little bit of the spring rate by putting more air in the front shocks. As I mentioned before, the cockpit on this bike is roomy, and size-wise, it's every bit as comfortable as I've got a GS1100 that's kind of my go-to vintage bike that I really like to ride, and this is every bit as roomy as that and every bit as comfortable. But if you were a rider with a little bit less experience, as easy as that 1100 is to drive, I think this would be a little bit more forgiving, because if you accidentally give it a little too much throttle, it's going to be forgiving. It's gonna, yeah, you can get away with it. You have to be more deliberate on your throttle to get this bike to go fast. The shifting on the bike is very nice. It shifts up through the gears very cleanly. The Suzuki transmissions of this time period were just outstanding. They were best in class. It's a very short throw, very positive. I don't hit false neutrals when I drive this. And at this speed, almost 55 miles an hour, it'll just do this all day, just with minimal vibration, just very smooth. Another thing too, if you're used to more modern bikes, everything about a modern bike is a lot tighter than it is on this machine. So when you hop on this bike, it feels almost a little bit, I don't know, loosey-goosey. It feels maybe wallowy, but I'm used to riding the vintage bikes, and they do seem to move around more than the newer bikes do, and I don't mind it. It kind of, I don't mind that feedback and kind of feeling for the feedback through the chassis. And with this roomy cockpit, I can honestly move around on this bike pretty easily in the corners. So if I want to kind of hang off on the inside, I can do that without any kind of issues. Overall, I think Suzuki just did a tremendous job on this bike. It's so all-around capable and non-punishing to ride, and sporting and entertaining. It's really a joy to ride. I recently went on about a 100-mile ride and just hit some really nice mountain roads and a lot of curves and tight corners and, you know, elevation change, and I just had a blast. And I got home and, you know, I just wasn't fatigued. That's just a great all-arounder. Good job, Suzuki.
What a fun ride. Suzuki's 1982 GS750E is an interesting bike. It's probably one of the most comfortable bikes I've ridden as far as the seat goes, the roomy cockpit layout on it, and just, it's got a very plush, almost a magic carpet ride to it that it takes a little bit of getting used to, but you can hustle it in the corners. It just has more suspension travel than I'm used to on most bikes.
If I compare this to, say, my GS1100 and the way that I have that set up, that's more, you know, German sports car, almost on the firm side with the suspension, and it doesn't move around a lot. And when I'm riding this bike aggressively, it just definitely moves around more. It feels almost, you know, a little bit rubber bandy. It almost feels a little bit silly in the way that it, you know, the amount of movement that you get from the suspension, but it does a good job. It actually maintains composure, and it's, you know, you can ride it quickly. And I spent a day riding it somewhat aggressively, and it did it. You know, it never once, you know, set a wheel out of place. It never once slipped or, you know, gave me a moment's pause in the corners and, you know, or in the mountains. You know, it just did everything that I wanted it to. It just doesn't do, really, it doesn't do anything with quite the directness that my 1100 has. So, you know, when I get on the throttle, it just, I've got to give it a little bit more throttle. When I get it on the brakes, I've got to give it a little bit more brakes. You know, the suspension in the front moves more, the suspension in the back moves more. And it gives a bike a unique feel, and I like it. I mean, I think it's a nice place to ride. If I was going to do an all-day ride and really wanted to be supremely comfortable, this would be a fantastic choice. And it's also a very capable bike. I can definitely see why Suzuki's 1982 GS750E was voted best sports standard of that year. I hope you found this episode entertaining and informative, and until next time, enjoy the ride.